Okay, this video is my Nikon story, basically. I want to tell you about how I got into Nikon and why I'm no longer with Nikon. Also, I want to open that box because it's a refurbished camera that I'm going to need to sell because of some auto repairs. I wanted to keep it, even though it's a Nikon. My story began with buying the Coolpix P520 at Costco. $300 camera. It was marked down from like 4 something. Apparently it was discontinued. That's probably why it was so cheap. I didn't know that at the time. Within a year, that camera broke down. Like within like a couple weeks of the warranty, going exempt, it was broke down. So I sent it to a camera repair place, Luxor Repair, I think, in California. And when they got it, they said, "Oh, the P520 has been discontinued, so we could substitute another camera." And what they do is they just send you a refurbished camera when you, if you're not if your warranty's expired. That's how they handle it. And that's why there's so many refurbished cameras on eBay right now and everywhere. So fine, I said to myself, I'm just going to buy a new camera. So I'm shooting with the P510. Nikon P5, no, P5, what is it? The Nikon P610, that's what it is. And it's been a good camera. It had some issues that was related to my startup disk being full. So I thought it was on the blink too. So I sent it to Luxor, and at the same time I decided to go ahead and pay the money to get the P520 exchanged for what's in that box in the middle there. And I forget what camera that is. But when I sent this camera in that I'm shooting with, I just asked them, just check it out, make sure it's okay. They said they couldn't even touch it. Unbeknownst to me, I bought what is called a gray market camera on eBay. And a gray market camera is something that you can't get anybody to work on. The place that sold it to me would work on it, but right now there's nothing wrong with it. So, but other than that, you can't get Nikon or a Nikon approved repair center to work on a gray market camera. That's kind of a problem, kind of a big problem. That kind of left me in the lurch, and I called Nikon. They're like, pound salt, buddy, basically what they said. And due to this camera going out and the fact that I am shooting with a camera that's a gray market camera, and Nikon doesn't stand, they're all made in the same country, and they're all made by Nikon, but Nikon doesn't want to do anything to help the consumer if you get stuck with a gray market camera. And not everybody knows there's even such thing as a gray market camera. I certainly didn't. Because of Nikon's attitude, and because the first camera broke down, because this camera gave me a scare, I thought it was breaking down, I decided to go to Canon. So that's what happens when you don't take care of your customers. They go elsewhere. So now that is a Canon EX60, I think, something 60. It has a capability for an external microphone, and it's just as easy to use as these Nikons. And that was one thing I was worried about. I was familiar with Nikon. I didn't really want to move to another brand, but I'm going to give Canon a try. And I don't know how long these cameras are expected to last. This one only lasted a year. It's a huge disappointment. I expect if I'm paying $450 for a camera, that I'm going to get 4 or 5 years use out of it before it has any major issues. And with the number of refurbished cameras online for sale, it seems to me that this is a lesson that I learned. If you're going to buy a camera, don't get it in your head that you want a new one. Just buy a used refurbished one. Why? Because they probably last just as good as the new ones. So you just wasted money by buying a new one. That's my lesson learned from this. So I'm going to open this box on the video because I'm going to sell it. I want the buyer to see that it's an actual brand new refurbished camera, or refurbished. I don't know what I want for it yet. The original camera costs around $300. This one, and this is a comparable model, that's all I know. with some goodies. That's nice. Doesn't come with a box, but when I sell it, you can have this box. It's got a brand new camera case in there. Kind of small, but if you don't like bulky cases, it'll work for you. Comes with a charger. Oh, nice, a battery. That's good. And what is this thing? Okay, it's a Nikon Coolpix 8700. Oh no, B700. That's what it is. And as far as this compared to the one that I sent in, this feels a little more compact. That's about the only difference. Otherwise, it probably operates the same. So there it is. This thing's for sale. I would imagine it's probably worth around $200, but I'll check prices before I list it. Comes with a flip-up flash. Yeah, should be a nice camera. Not really what I wanted. I really like the P520, but apparently they discontinued that for some reason. So that's the end of my video. Hopefully you can learn my lessons before you make the same mistakes.